Hello everyone, this is Neha Sharma. Today in this video we are going to start chapter number 3 from our English textbook Flamingo for class 12th. So the students, the name of the chapter is Deep Water, which is written by William Douglas, who was an American journalist and politician. In his story, Douglas talks about his fear of water and how he finally overcomes it with strong willpower, courage, hard work and firm determination. Once he took courage, the fear vanished. That shows most of our fears are baseless. This fear creates danger where there is none. The writer experiences further confirm the proverbial truth: where there is a will, there is a way. So when we talk about the characters and the places which we will talk about and read in this chapter, so the character is the narrator itself, who is William Douglas. He is the narrator of this story. YMCA pool is a place which is a swimming pool and run by Young Men Christian Association. So you can match this with the abbreviation given here, that is YMCA, Young Men's Christian Association. And we will talk about river Yakima here. So Yakima is a US city actually, located about 60 miles southwest of the Mount Rainier in Washington, and there is one river also, Yakima River. Before starting the story, let's talk about this author of the story. So, author of the story, as I've told you, is William Douglas. So, William Douglas, he was born in 1898 and died in 1980. He was born in Maine, Minnesota, after graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in English and Economics. He spent 2 years of teaching in high school in Yakima. However, he got tired of this and decided to pursue a legal career. Deep Water is an excerpt taken from Of Men and Mountains by William O. Douglas. It reveals how, as a young boy, William Douglas nearly drowned in a swimming pool. In this essay, he talks about his fear of water and thereafter how he finally overcame it with strong willpower, courage, hard work and firm determination. Once he took courage, the fear vanished. That shows most of our fears are baseless. Fear creates dangers where there is none, and the writer's experiences further confirm the proverbial truth that where there is a will, there is a way. So dear students, before you read about the deep water, you must clear about the concept and the theme of the story you're gonna read about. So let's see the video of Deep Water and let's understand what is the theme of the story. Deep Water, written by William Douglas. The story begins with the narrator recounting an incident that took place when he was 10 or 11 years old. The narrator had decided to learn swimming at the YMCA pool in Yakima. He was initially worried when he stepped into the YMCA pool, since it started unpleasant for him. When he was about 3 or 4 years old, his father had taken him to a beach in California. The waves had knocked him over and he had been covered by water. The narrator felt this fear resurfacing at the YMCA pool, but over some days he overcame the fear by observing and imitating the action of other boys who were swimming. One day the narrator was sitting alone by the side of the pool, waiting for the others to turn up. He did not have confidence to enter the pool alone. A huge boy of 18 came in, picked him up and threw him into the deep end of the pool. The narrator panicked as he sank to the bottom of the pool, but he kept his wits about him. He decides to push himself up to the surface when his feet hit the bottom, and then he paddled to the edge of the pool. Unfortunately, he came up slowly. When he opened his eyes, he saw nothing but yellow water. He started to panic as he rose, especially when he could not get his face out of water. As he sank slowly back down, he started to lose his breath and was suddenly stiff and with fear. He reached the bottom and he jumped again, coming up slowly. He was overcome with terror again and froze. He almost came up but again went back under. Darkness surrounded him and he gave up the struggle to survive, exhausted. Death seemed to welcome him and he lost consciousness. The next thing he knew, he was lying beside the pool, vomiting the water he had swallowed. He had been pulled out of the water just in time. This incident left him feeling vulnerable and helpless, and from that day he was terrified of water. As he grew older, this fear stayed with him and ruined his fishing trips also. It prevented him from enjoying simple joys of life like canoeing, boating and swimming. Finally, he decided to learn swimming from an instructor. He started practicing 5 days a week at a pool. First, he swam repeatedly up and down a pool with a belt that was attached to an overhead rope that the instructor held. He panicked every time he went underwater, but this subsided over 3 months. The instructor then taught him to breathe and kick properly, and eventually he learned to swim without help. The narrator was overjoyed but wondered if he could swim alone without his instructor. He managed just fine. To curb his lingering doubts, he swam alone across Lake Wentworth and then across Warm Lake, which he had visited before. He did experience his old fear once in Lake Wentworth, but was able to ignore it. When he was able to swim across Warm Lake and back, he was ecstatic at having conquered his fear. The narrator ends the story by quoting Franklin D. Roosevelt's words, "All we have to fear is fear itself." His near-death experience had only made him stronger. He finally felt liberated.